Swole Benji here. Today we are going to be talking about the settings menu, key bindings. We're going to go over every single thing and why you should pick certain things. Or we're also going to talk about secret interactions within this menu, things that may affect other things. So let's just get started with it, okay? We're going to go to key bindings first, and I'm going to explain why I have my keys bound in this specific way. But once we get to the gameplay and the visuals, there's some interesting ways that they interact with each other that I want to go over, so you don't want to miss that. But let's start talking about key bindings. All right. So zoom in and out, mouse wheel up and down. That's pretty standard for all MMORPGs. Now what the modifier is, and that music's kind of loud. Let me just fix that. We'll go with that. Okay, there we go. All right, so the modifier button means if you bind a button to this, you have to hold that button down to be able to zoom in and out. So we don't want that because we want to be able to zoom in and out as we please. Now, free look, I have it on Alt because that is how it is in Rust. In Rust, when you're running around, you use Alt to look around, so I'm just used to that, okay? I believe the default is, well, maybe it's Alt. I don't remember what the defaults are. Anyway, shoot and aim, left click, right click, that's standard for shooting games. Basic attack, left click, right click to block, dodge. Now here's the thing, dodge, I believe the default is shift. That's an awful key to use. I hate using shift for dodge, that's stupid. So, now this says I bound it to middle mouse button, but let me explain, okay? I have a program that rebinds my mouse keys. So, for me, middle mouse button is actually a side button on the mouse, and for those that want to know, I use a Razer Death Adder. So the buttons on the side are very big. They're about half, I don't know, maybe like half or 1/3 the size of my thumb. So they're very easy to push. So the way it works is that my left hand is free for movement in all directions and abilities in all directions. And my thumb is my dodge button. And so what this means is I can easily animation cancel rolling, okay? So if you had dodge on shift, you're going to have to press shift and C at the same time while holding W or, you know, WD or WA, like that's really uncomfortable. But with this method, I can use my left thumb to mash C and my right thumb to mash dodge, and I can move in any direction I want. So it's very comfy to do dodge roll animation cancels. All right. So target self. Now I have it bound to Alt because I can be more aware while healing myself, but at the same time, this is the same button used in Albion Online to target yourself. So it's more comfortable for me to use Alt. Now, exit auto target, middle mouse button. Again, for me, this is my mouse side button on the left side of the mouse. I use my thumb for this, which I don't use auto target anyway, and we're going to talk about that in preferences, okay? Because you really don't, like, auto target sucks. All right, and then cycle target, mouse wheel up and down. This is very important when you use a targeted heal in parties. Fishing mode, F3, that's standard. Quit bait, that's standard. The cast hook and reel is left mouse button. Now here's the thing, okay? Reset cast or exit fishing. The default is right click, okay? And here's why you want to unbind this, or at least why I wanted to unbind this, okay? So after fishing for several hours, your hand gets a little numb. Me in particular, I am a weightlifter. I am kind of a big boy. So when my hand is resting on the mouse, sometimes I'd be reeling in a fish and my hand is just heavy, so it would hit right click. And it would just throw the fish away. I would have a legendary fish on the line, and oops, I hit right click. So what you want to do is unbind this when you fish, because you don't want to throw a fish away accidentally having your hand rest on your mouse, okay? Now, if you want to exit, fishing or casting because a mob aggroed you or there's an enemy player coming up to gank you, you just use your dodge. Just dodge and you will exit fishing immediately, okay? So, again, unbind this. It sucks. I left all the housing stuff default. I'm actually not going to mess with the houses till in-game. I don't really think they're worth it. I messed with them a lot in the betas, and it was just too darn expensive for a freaking teleport. Like, who cares? Navigation, this is all standard. Now, auto run. All right, so when I'm running with, like, WASD, I can reach up with my ring finger, that's the finger next to your pinky, and hit tilde, which is above the tab button, and auto run. This is very easy to reach while navigating, so I can just move to a direction, hit auto run, and then, go make a coffee or something, okay? So crouch, for me, a lot of shooting games use control. I use X. I love X for crouch. It is very easy to access with my thumb. I just tuck it in a bit and press the button. Prone toggle, I use my ring finger for that as well. I could use my thumb if I want to stretch it, but it's a little uncomfy. Now, walk, I have that unbound. Like, I don't have a reason to walk. Though I have a walk toggle on equal sign, which is a very out-of-the-way button, so I don't accidentally ever press it. And because I don't want to be stuck in a walk animation in PvP, or if I have mob aggro, right? And then of course, jump and traverse is spacebar, which is basically jump in almost every video game ever. All of this is default, you know, the journal, the inventory, all that kind of fun stuff. I didn't change any of that, so that's all default. Now ping, I have that set to shift. That way I can at least communicate with my group if like I need help or there's an enemy in a bush, stuff like that they may not see. So shift does have a use, but I'm not really using it that much. So cycle weapons, I can unbind these because I don't use this at all. But if I'm holding control for whatever reason, I can cycle weapons. I'm probably just going to unbind it, you know, like, there we go. Just get rid of that shit, because I don't need it. I use number 1 and number 2 to cycle weapons. So, there you go. Now, this is consumables, all standard, which is pretty easy for me to reach when I'm using WASD. Weapon abilities are also defaults currently. I might change these in the future, but it is... I'm already used to it from playing for 300 hours, so I probably might not. I don't know. All this is defaults as well. Now, Chat's all default except push to talk is V. I use V a lot in games with chat, especially like Steam games, Gmod, all that kind of stuff. V for voice. I don't know. That's just how my brain clicks with it. And it's very easy to reach while I'm moving around and playing because my thumb rests on the V key most of the time, or the space bar. So, and I want to be talking. I want to be social. I want to make memories with people, okay? So this is like a priority key. I know in World of Warcraft my V key was like Sinister Strike or whatever, which is a very used, you know, skill. But there was no voice chat, you know, in that game, so it freed up the button. Anyway, dialogue options, that's all default. Now let's talk about preferences. I know this video is kind of running on long, but guys, it's worth it. Just hang out with me a bit longer. I'm going to cover some secret interactions in the menu, okay? Language filter, you want that off. Don't be a baby. Read the bad words, okay? Just subtitles. Sometimes I don't know what people are saying because I can't understand words sometimes. So I have this on. Achievement notification gets really annoying. You can turn this off if you want. Bandwidth mode, I don't know enough about this to tell you to switch it to high or low. I honestly have no freaking idea, dudes. I played with it in the betas and I didn't notice anything. I didn't notice a difference. Analytics reporting. This one I have on, and when you're in the game, you're going to see these numbers at the top right of your screen. That will display your coordinates. This is important if you find a bug or a glitch or an unsafe spot that might get you stuck, or if you find a really cool, weird spot. So I always play with coordinates on, especially in like games like Minecraft. So that's why I have that on. Okay, gameplay. Invert camera. We're not playing a flying game. I don't know why you'd ever invert your camera. If I want to look up, I move my mouse up. If you have this on and you move your mouse up, you look down. It's really awkward, okay? Camera sensitivity. I have this at 22. I generally play almost all games at a lower sensitivity, around 2 to 4, especially for shooting games. Like when I played Halo on a controller, I used sensitivity 4. But later on during my MLG career, I switched it to sensitivity 2, and my kill-death ratio shot up massively. So I'm playing at 22, and I have a low mouse sensitivity, about 1,200 DPI, which some people might think is fast, but it's actually pretty slow. With the other thing on mouses is at like 800. Okay, I don't remember exactly what that's called right now, but what it allows me to do is pop heads. I'm an FPS gamer. I can shoot headshots all day long, and this is the setting that allows me to do it. If I change this to a higher value, I would not be able to shoot heads at all. And I know a lot of people, like I think it's default like in the middle or something. So I moved it to 22. That's my comfort zone. Play an aim trainer online if you want to figure out your sensitivity. Camera shake. Okay, so normally I would tell you to turn this off, okay? But camera shake, it's really not that jarring in this game. It's actually pretty cool. It actually feels good. It's not that bad. I have it on because, you know, I'm trying to make cool videos, okay? But you can turn it off if you find it kind of weird. Always show reticle is very important to have because you want to have that reticle pointing at people to see if they're flagged or not. You want to have it pointing at people to see if they're over leveled or not. You absolutely want this, and you want to be, you know, getting used to people, you know, pointing your reticle at people. Social actions, hotkey hint, that's if you get up next to someone, you can report them for like cheating or something, okay? Always show vital values. You want to be able to see health and other things. You always want to have this on, so don't ever turn this off. Contextual fading, okay? You don't want your HUD to fade. Yeah, maybe if you want like a comfy HUD, sure, but it's really bad to have your HUD fade and then you actually need to see your health values or your cooldowns, okay? And it does fade. Like, even with this off, it still fades. I don't get it. Always show weapons. You want this on so you can see your weapon cooldowns. Show extra ability cooldowns. Now, what this does will put little black circles in the middle of your screen. I hate this. I'm a World of Warcraft player and an Albion player, and our cooldowns are at the bottom of the screen. In this case, with weapons always on, my cooldowns are in the bottom right of the screen. So I'm used to looking at the bottom of the screen to see my cooldowns. But most of the time, I'm weird. Like, I can tell you the time of day without ever looking at the time. It's like I am like a time master. So I have this weird autismal power where, like I can be outside wandering around for hours, and I know it almost exactly within 5 minutes of what the time of day is. I don't know, so you might need this. I personally don't, because I have like weird superpower. Okay, floating damage numbers. If you turn it off, it sticks to their health bar. It's really awkward looking. I like floating numbers because it makes the RPG experience more enjoyable. Except duel invites. You can turn this off if you're a gatherer, because people will run up to you and challenge you to a duel. And if you accept, it stops you from mining, and then they just mine your node and then steal it. Auto traverse. You want to have this off, okay? If you're hiding in the bush, or if you're, running around, if you have auto run on, this is on, okay? So that's fine. But if you're running around, you don't want to automatically be climbing up the well in the middle of town because you ran into it and stuff like that. It's just really annoying. Targeted healing, turn this off. Turn it off right now. Open the game. It's preloaded. You can open the menu right now. Turn it off. Well, when you're watching this, the game will be launched, so never mind on that, okay? Targeted healing, freeform camera. This is stupid, okay? This means you can look around while you have a target. Like, if a target's behind you, you can heal. Now, another reason to turn targeted healing off is because if you want to heal yourself or just throw a heal on the ground, and a lot of people, like, you're in a questing area, it's just going to heal some random bloke. So turn this off. Targeted healing, camera aim retargeting, okay? So what this does is that your camera will follow the person that you're targeting. No, I'm sorry. What this does is whenever you look at a person, it will auto-target them, and that can be useful if you're, like, sniping people with heals, or if you're in a war and they're not in your group. But I have it off because you might turn this on wars, okay? But generally in wars, if you're not healing in heavy armor with AoEs, you're doing it wrong anyway, so you won't really be targeting people. But hey, the meta could change. I did put out a healing vid. That build could be useful, though. It's too squishy for wars. Sticky targeting, again. What this does is after you heal the target, you will still have them targeted. You don't need this. Now, manual target lock. You can use the middle mouse button. In my case, it's my dodge button, so I don't want to do that at all. Personally, like manual target lock, like you would hit your middle mouse button to lock on a target or unlock a target. Like if you want to just be locked onto the thing the whole time, but that's stupid. Just use the mouse wheel. Target healing group mode. This only heals your group members, which is very important because if you're popping heals in a quest zone, if you have this off, it's going to heal random people around you instead of your group. So don't have this off. I have all the quest stuff auto pin because it's really annoying, and even then it still doesn't work. So you can turn this on or off if you want. You can also turn it on or off from your journal, your quest menu, so that's fine. Visuals. Now this is very important. This is like a big juicy one here, okay? Visuals. Now windowed mode, it says full screen, but it's actually full screen windowed. And if you use windowed, it has a dumb bar at the top of the screen. You don't want to use windowed. Resolution, you want it to be set to the highest that your monitor shows. For me, I have an 11-year-old monitor. I have 2 monitors. They only go up to this, so I can't do any like 4K stuff. Sorry, guys. Brightness and contrast and field of view. Let's talk about that. So brightness and contrast, don't touch these. If you want to adjust these, adjust them in your graphic card settings. You will get better results than if you leave these at default, okay? Again, mess with them in your graphic card settings. I have a video on my channel that shows you how to like play old World War II games, and it applies to this game where you adjust the contrast slightly. I'll just show you. I'll show you real quick. Let me just do this. Give me a sec to load up my NVIDIA control settings. I'm just I've already made a video on this, but check this out, guys. All right, so what you can do is change your brightness to 60, keep your contrast at 50, and what this is going to do, and change your gamma, increase your gamma to 1.25. And here you go. Here's the other settings: the digital vibrance to 70, hue to 0. And what this is going to do, guys, this is going to allow you to see people from a distance better. It's going to allow you to see people in bushes because the colors have a higher contrast. They're going to pop out at you. If you play old World War II grimy games that are all kind of just like the same stupid color of gray and green, changing all those settings that I just showed you are going to make you absolutely be able to laser people and see them in bushes and make their camo completely worthless. So use those settings if you have NVIDIA. If you have AMD, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Or Radeon or whatever it's called, I don't know. All right, so field of view. If you want to see more around you, crank this up, okay? But for me, having a lower field of view, which 50 is the default, I don't go below default because then you can't see anything around you. This helps you with shooting, okay? If you have a very high field of vision and you aim down your sights, you hold right click to aim, and even if you use the sniper zoom feature, everything's going to be smaller. Pixels will be absolutely smaller. So having a lower field of view if you're a musket player is pretty darn good, okay? I don't go below 50 because I still like to have awareness around me of other players. Now, video quality, let's talk about video quality, all right? This is just the preset one that'll affect all of them, really. Actually, maybe not. I have everything at very high because I have an extremely powerful computer, a 3080, an i9 10850K, etc., 64 gigs RAM. Yeah, I'm pretty OP, so I can do video stuff, but a lot of YouTubers, especially the technical YouTubers, have done like benchmark tests, and they have found that having things on very high almost doesn't change the graphics at all, and it highly stresses out your system and massively drops your frames. So setting everything to just high, the game will look just about the exact same. The lighting might be a little different, but other than that, you're going to have a much, much higher frame rate, a huge frame rate boost to go from very high to high. All right. So, with that said, I have played around with these graphic settings massively, changing things from low to high to see which is the best to gather resources and see like nuts in a bush near a tree with all the foliage and grass around it. And I have found that having things on high or very high make them easier to spot, as well as that little graphic thing that I showed you earlier with the contrast and all that. That makes colors pop, makes it easier to see resources that are hard to spot. So use high and use that little cheat that I gave you for your graphics, okay? Show FPS, I like having show FPS on it. Like Steam shows it in my top left corner, but I also have in the top right corner. I don't know. I'm going to talk more about this in a bit. Okay, VSync, I hate VSync, okay? If you have some future monitor or something, you could turn it on. It looks so ugly and it makes my games crappy. Every game I've ever played with VSync on sucks. So I don't use it, but you might use it. Now, here's the thing. Max FPS, we're going to talk about this, okay? For those that don't know, if you run it uncapped, you risk your graphics card, okay? There has been countless people with 3090s and a few 3080s that have bricked their GPUs, and what that means is that your graphics processor dies, and you have to contact the company and have them ship you a new one. And with a shortage of graphics cards due to miners, you you don't want to be in that situation. So you can save your graphics card by capping it at 60 FPS, okay? If you have a 144 hertz monitor, you kind of don't want to cap it because, look, I'll uncap it, and please don't blow up, computer. Please don't blow up. Well, actually, it's not gonna do it until I save it. I'm too afraid, guys. I'm not gonna do it. Player name, plate amount, okay? I maxed this out, and even with my beast of a PC, it lagged hard in towns. Don't ever max this. Don't touch this. Leave it at default or turn it down, okay? Don't increase this. Unless you're like playing on very low with a beast PC, even then, like, this lags. I don't understand why this lags. Cap FPS in the background, I have that on again. I don't want it to go over 60 and melt my computer. Dynamic resolution scaling. Now, if you have a crappier computer, turn this off if you want to keep the graphics looking juicy, but you don't care about FPS. Have it on if you care about your frame rate. I personally don't need it on. But there are times when there's like 100 dudes in town, and if I, for whatever reason in this game, when I stare at the sky, my frame rate just freaking goes nuts. So I have this on. It will blur the world a little bit for you, but it will keep your frame rate steady, which is what's most important in PvP. Let's talk about audio. For this video, I have music off because I'm playing the in-game music, but I want to talk about the music tab before we talk about anything else, okay? So let's say I turn the music on, and this is going to get a little weird. And then I turn ambient music on, which is fine. If for whatever reason you turn the music off, your ambient will also turn off. But it won't turn back on until you actually, turn it back on. So there we go. And I'm actually going to kill my ever watch music now. So let's talk about master volume. I have this at 100, and that's what it sounds like. It's kind of loud, and that's how I'm gonna play. And the reason you need master volume at 100 is so you can hear all the little noises in the background and stuff like that. Okay, we're gonna turn this back on. No, we're just gonna keep it low. There we go. That way it's not, overpowering my voice. You definitely want to play with this at 100 because the sounds in this game are worth listening to. It's one of the best games with sounds besides Tarkov, in my opinion. Movie volume. There's not really a lot of movies in the game, like maybe the opening intros and the little cutscenes. Or if you're doing a dungeon, there's some cutscenes. That's about it. Sound effects volume. If I have this at 100 and I'm mining, it's like, ow, my ears. Ambient effects. Again, I don't turn this up too much because if it's raining, that's all you hear is the rain. Vocals volume. This is for townspeople. And they're already loud as heck at 50. Voiceover volume. Max this out. It's hard to hear some people, okay? Some people are very quiet on their microphones. And you can, after 8 or 10 meters, you can't even hear people anymore. Like, the voice chat, you gotta be close. Which kind of sucks, because if you're in a dungeon and you're in the back line or something, no one's gonna hear you. Music volume, I have this at 50, so it doesn't overpower the sound effects. UI volume, I just keep it at 50, so you can hear the little clicks and the little tink-tink-tinks. Boost softer sounds, max this out at 100. This will help you hear voices better. This will help you hear just small things like mobs walking around. Like if you're in a house, and you can hear the footsteps. You can hear other player footsteps. So footsteps are very important in games to know and be aware. Output configuration, I'm using headphones. I'm actually using a $16 pair of JVC headphones. They're just cheap little plastic things. I haven't bought real headphones in years because they're like hundreds of dollars, and to me it sounds like the sound quality is worse. I just use cheapo headsets. Enable audio in the background. This is up to you. If you Alt-Tab or you go to use a web browser or you just click out of the game window, this will turn the audio off. I personally like it on because if I'm out in a dangerous area flagged, I can hear people attacking me, so I always keep it on. Communications, let's talk about this. Now, here's the thing. If your voice chat bugs out, if you press your voice chat button and it says that it's not working, just go here, click disabled, then click enabled. It's going to have a little loading circle when you're in the game, and then it should work. So for speaker, you want your main speaker, so you would go to your sound profile and see whatever your default is. Make sure this is set to what it is default. I'll show you what that looks like right now. Okay, real quick. Let me just enable this. And so you'll see here that my digital audio, which I'm using a Astro mix amp from the Halo 2 days. Yes, it has lasted that long. Unfortunately, the plastic has eroded into this sticky mess. It's really weird, but so you want to make sure that it's default. So if I click here, you can set as default and default communication. Make sure that this, whatever is your default, matches your options, okay? And with that said, you want it at 100, of course, so you can receive all the volume. Again, this is another master volume knob. Microphone. I use a soundboard, so I'm using a virtual cable. I have a video on my channel about this. Go check it out. Otherwise, you would use your main microphone. For me, it's a Yeti, a Blue Yeti. That's most YouTubers use. I'm not using the fancy crap because I don't really care that much. And, for you guys, it's whatever. The quality is good enough, right? But I do have it set to my soundboard so I can play fart sounds and, funny little, kids screaming or girl gamer stuff. Microphone volume. This is your volume. This is how loud you are presented to the world. When I'm using a soundboard, it's maximum volume anyway. If you crank this to 100, you're going to sound very annoying and distorted sometimes. It really depends on your microphone. People might be muting you if you put this to 100. Everyone's been able to hear me just fine at 50. So play around with it. Ask your friends, how do you sound? Microphone sensitivity. This is the sensitivity of your microphone. As in, if you hold push to talk and there's a tiny little noise in the background, it won't pick it up normally, but if you put this at 100, it will. So it's gonna say you have a fan blowing in your room or something off in the corner. Having your sensitivity a little lower is going to allow you to not have that fan broadcast to everybody. Now, I use push to talk because I'm not rude, but you could just put it always on so that people can hear you munching on food and burping and all that other crap and, the television in the background or whatever. So that's up to you. Chat text size, that's all chat stuff. The fade delay, personally, I hate when chat fades. I don't know why. I'll change it. I'm going to change all this later when I'm actually playing the game and have time, but I really don't pay attention much to chat. The opacity of the background, holy crap, if you max this out, dude, that's going to take up a lot of your UI. I have this at 0. There's no reason to have opacity in this game. Chat gameplay opacity, right? That's when you have the chat open. You press enter and you're typing to people. You want to be able to see what you're typing. I don't know. That's just my personal thing. And then here's another language filter. There's one in preferences right here. Language filter off. Just if you have any of these on, which the game defaults to on, you won't be able to see curse words. So turn it off. Don't be a baby. Chat alerts. It's very important to have chat alerts on. So if someone PMs you, you're going to hear a shing noise. All right. If you turn this off, you won't hear that noise. So if you're a very popular person and people are constantly messaging you, you might want to turn this off because the noise can get a little jarring. Close chat after a send. You want this on. Okay, so what that means is you're typing to someone and you press enter, and then your chat closes. So if you want to send another message, you press enter, you type your message, you press enter to send. If you have this off, you will press enter to send the message, and then your chat window will still be open, which is really bad if you're in a PvP situation. But you really shouldn't be typing anyway in those situations. Show chat message time. This is very important. A lot of times I get up, I'll go make a snack, I'll go get some food, and I leave the game running. People will DM me. They will message me. If I have this off, I have no idea what time they messaged me, if it was an hour ago or 1 minute ago. That way I can be like, hey, sorry, I was AFK. Or, oh, hey, man, what's up? So chat color message, that's up to you. I like the colors. That way I can see faction chat and global chat and direct messages. Social. Hide social notification banners. All right, so this is kind of dumb. There's little pop-ups every once in a while. If you're using, like, if you have 100 market listings, you might turn this on because it can get annoying. But every time something sells, it'll give you a coin notification. Friend request, group request. It says if you're a streamer, you can turn it on or off. I don't hide it because I like to see when stuff sells. So this is a Twitch section. If you're a Twitch streamer, you can use this stuff. I stream on YouTube. I don't stream on Twitch. There's no discovery on Twitch. On YouTube, it will show my stream to people that are interested in my stream, and it will show my video on demand, or VOD, which is a replay of the stream, to people interested in New World. So there's no reason for me to go to Twitch. The money's better on YouTube anyway. And YouTube has 10 times the amount of traffic over Twitch. I don't like Twitch at all because of their rules anyway. So, yeah, that's just my spiel on that. Accessibility. If you're colorblind, you got all these options. I have a weird problem with blues and purples. Like, I can tell that this is blue. I can absolutely tell this is blue. But some blues and purples are very confusing for me, and none of these seem to really matter or do anything for me. Maybe I just have, like, some new version of colorblindness. I'm like patient zero. I don't know. Text size, you can up the chat size on nameplates. I haven't played with this. I haven't used this. I don't know if bigger nameplates would be more useful. I think I might have this on bigger. I'm gonna try it on bigger. We're gonna try it out, guys. That way you guys can see the names of people that kill me and you know, corpse camp me or whatever. Text to speech. This is annoying. Holy crap! Don't turn this on unless you have, you know, if you're really blind. Okay, guys. Text to speech volume. Text to speech rate. You can speed up the reading if you want. Now, here's a cool thing. Speech to text. If you turn this, like if someone's mic spamming, you have no clue who it is, turn this on and it will tell you the player's name. So you can just run around and look for their name, and then you can mute them if they're like spamming a song you don't like or something, okay? And then this is just the about. It's all cool. So that is my video on settings. I know it's a long one, but there you go. Like, by the way, guys, for the bait at the start, this was the secret, the speech to text. That was the secret, the visuals about the seeing resources in high bushes. That was the other secret. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm just going to sit here on the title screen and wait for New World to come out, because today is the 27th, and you're watching this on the 28th. So, yes, it's finally here, boys. Lads, create character. There's no available worlds. No, why? I have the best ping on USDs for some reason. I don't know why. I guess they just have juicier servers on the East Coast. I don't know, man. Anyway, I'm Soul Benji. Thanks for watching. As always, be a bro and stay swole. Leave a like and a comment. You gotta do both. Do both right now. Just don't even pause the video. Just scroll down. You're not missing nothing. It's the title screen. Leave that comment. Like the video. When you do both, it is an algorithm cheat code. It is a YouTube combo. It is a 4 times multiplier, okay? If you just like the video, that's a 1 times multiplier. If you just comment, that's a 1 times. But if you do both, it's a 4 times multiplier. It really helps out. And 80% of you aren't subscribed. That means there's a lot of new viewers coming to the channel, which is great. But hit that subscribe button. Let's hit 50K. Guys, if I hit 100K, I can maybe have a normal life. And I just want a normal life. I just want to be able to take care of my girlfriend. guys, I don't want to be in poverty anymore. So help a low down brother out and hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you. I make videos every day. So I will see you in tomorrow's video. It's probably going to be a DPS dungeon build video. I don't know yet, but we'll see.